Most people do not realize how rare this window in time is. Let me just highlight this because when you really think about this, this is absolutely ridiculous, right? Okay, so take me, for example, chronic severe OCD, latch to real event harm OCD, sensory, motor, and existential as the main themes, right? If I had not embodied acceptance, that cycle would not have gone. Okay, I tried for years, thoughts are thoughts, over and over, mindfulness, meditation retreats, everything, over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, therapy sessions in different countries, specialist centers, over and over and over and over, exposures over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, I'm talking about every single week, right? Going, no progress at all. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to come from a family that could help me out with going to those sessions because I was young and I wasn't earning any money at the time. And going to those sessions every week, doing all the homework and being just as stuck and coming home, reading the books that were available at the time, and just constantly trying to relabel thoughts OCD and being stuck and feeling hopeless and thinking my life is basically gone. My brain will not turn back the pressure. That's it, over. Right. It was only because of that depth of acceptance, self-acceptance, unconditional other life acceptance. And if you're on the path and you've started learning about acceptance and putting the steps in place, you will know how much your life suddenly starts changing with practice, persistence plus time. And because you've been so used to being stuck, you think nothing works until you start making progress and then you start to see it. And when you get to the other side, you're absolutely astounded by the fact that thoughts are thoughts is mainstream all around the world. Oh, just it's a thought, it's a silly thought. Who the fuck is recovering from chronic severe OCD with it's just a silly thought in your head? Think about how weak that sounds. Hey, yeah, like I've got panic attacks all night. I can barely breathe. I've got adrenaline rushing through me all day long. I can barely function. I'm going back and forth to the toilet. We have some profound wisdom for you today, sir. Let me just tell you. It is, 1 second, let me get up the notes. Thoughts are just silly little thoughts. Thank you for that. Right. That's the reality. And so I made it my life's mission when I became very, very aware of this. And I saw through time, through Stoicism, Ellis, and so on, I thought, fuck, this really needs to be my life's work to get this mainstream with OCD sufferers, that they realize that acceptance is key. Now, that is by no means, people often say to me, oh, right, Rob, so if everyone knows about acceptance, then everyone recovers. Well, it's not actually as simple as that. Unfortunately, OCD takes a huge depth of knowledge of breaking it down, understanding all the nuances. If I just came in and just sort of recited acceptance and unconditional self-acceptance, right? The results that I get with people very, very low, right? No, they wouldn't be very low. They'd be good in terms of compared to what there was, but they'd stumble on so many hurdles of how OCD operates and grips that they'd still feel pretty stuck a lot of the time, right? So my work is all, and the team's work is all to do with the most knowledge on OCD delivered in getting people recovered in the shortest time we can. Now, with that, we've obviously over many, many years worked with tens of thousands of people. And I'm very confident that there's nowhere else, center or person, that delivers anywhere near the results we get. And that is because of the amount of work, reflection, review, analysis on all the different things we learn about OCD and how we can implement that into the best possible structure to help people recover. And if you look at our social media, you will see, well, hold on, other channels put out one video every 2 weeks. These guys are putting out 5 videos a day on all different ones across all different social media, right? Because it's the amount of knowledge that's out there that changes the most amount of people's lives from OCD, right? I'm going to China shortly, and that will be into a place where there is a population of over 1 billion, And OCD knowledge in China, it's like going back hundreds of years, right? There is some basic thoughts of thought stuff and some exposure stuff. And exposure stuff is great. It's a key part of recovery. And if you have contamination OCD, maybe you do that and it doesn't morph and you're recovered. Fine. Think about how many people in China are stuck with harm OCD, real event OCD, relationship OCD, tons. So we have a huge project set out there, which we've got to do, as we have with other countries. And so if you think about how lucky this window is to be in a period of time, could I have recovered 80 years ago? No chance. No chance. And I can't see really how people could have recovered even in a 10 plus years ago, because there wasn't really that much social media at all, right? There wasn't that much content on it. I mean, just think of the mainstream books on OCD. Go into a bookshop. I went in the other day and I put the photo in the groups. They were all wishy-washy books, all fluffy titles, usually written by people who live sort of very fluffy type lives who've written those books, right? Every single book I picked up was just complete fluff. You just open it and it's all thoughts of thoughts, deep breathing, mantras, leave thoughts there. Now, very helpful for mild anxiety, very helpful for some insight into a little bit about how OCD operates, right? Some quite good information, right, for the basics. But it doesn't even touch the surface for chronic severe OCD. Doesn't even touch the surface. Basics for chronic OCD, severe OCD is like this. You install the basics and OCD is like, no, I need the update 10.11x and you're on like update 1 until I give you any reduction in symptoms. So it's brutal, right? So if you think about how lucky you are to live in this window of time where you can actually recover. Sure, AI might cure OCD in the next 3-4 years. I don't doubt that. But as of right now, you live at the best possible time. But if you're not working on recovery and you're not doing anything to change it and further your knowledge, you're living the same as 1,000 years ago. It's the same as the guy who never reads. He's got no advantage over the guy who can't read. Let that sink in. When I speak to loads of people with OCD, I see all different work rates. If I came into our organization today and I had a first session, I would be thinking, right, I've got to get all these books, put them on the table, start working through them. I've got to dispute beliefs. I've got to socialize with the people in the WhatsApp groups who are making progress and really pushing forward. And that needs to be my angle, right? I would say 80 to 90% of people with OCD, generally their life structure is, I'll do it tomorrow, it's too hard, it's too tiring, because of the nature of the push of the disorder. But you need to build the life structure to break this disorder down. It's the same as if you go to the gym. Most people who go to the gym never bench press 100 kilos, ever, right? It's a very small fraction of people. Because to get there, it's not because it's impossible. It's because it needs repetition after repetition in terms of sessions, then increasing the weight, good diet, and it's achievable for a lot of people, right? But the reason it is not done is because there's a lot of challenges along the way, and that is the same as the recovery journey, right? You have really got to think there is a window in time right now. You need to harness that to your opportunity for better mental health and recovery. Because right now, the world is moving very fast. And stress in jobs, life, relationships, the world's in a weird place. So you want to give yourself the best opportunity with OCD recovery and take it very seriously, okay? Because that window is so lucky that the past generations would have given anything to just hear the information that you're hearing today.